The Decision Support Platform aims to help users develop comprehensive watershed plans by providing resources, planning tools, and data visualization support. When you click on the Decision Support Platform block, you are taken into the IoWaDSS platform. Within the platform, the user is directed to search by their point of interest. Their point of interest can be the state of Iowa, Huck 8 watersheds, Huck 12 watersheds, counties, city and townships, place of interest, or specific projects. This part of the tutorial will cover the different types of searches allowed by IoWaDSS, first starting with the state of Iowa. When we search by the state of Iowa and then click Launch DSS, you will see a base map of Iowa and then the sections Watersheds, Current Status, and Planning above. Within the Watersheds section, you can view the inventory of all the watershed resources. For example, within the Summary Info tab, you can see a summary of terms of the Huck 8 watersheds. In the tab to the right, the Current Data and Info tab, you can view real-time sensor data for select variables. Lastly, in the Model tab, you can see which models were performed for different watersheds in Iowa. Please note that this list will be expanded as needed. Within the Current Status option, you can choose to select either of the categories hydrology, geomorphology, water quality, meteorology, land, water, and habitat, or socioeconomic to study the current status within Iowa. Within the hydrology category, you will see we have added the variables of stream stages, stream stage and discharge, lake levels, and runoff potential. This is a preliminary list of variables for hydrology. We are interested in your feedback as to what other variables we can add. Within the category of geomorphology, we have a preliminary list of data sets we plan to provide, such as soil types, land use, land cover, soil erosion potential, sedimentation potential, and groundwater level. Within the water quality category, the data sets we plan to provide are nitrate and nitrate as N, temperature, pH, dissolved oxygen, specific conductance, turbidity, and impaired streams. For the category meteorology, the data sets provided are temperature, precipitation by point, and precipitation by radar. For the land and water habitat, the preliminary data sets provided are land species, water species, and endangered species. In the socioeconomic category, we plan to connect population and economic-related data pulled from the FEMA HAZAS database. On the planning section for the state of Iowa, we plan to add a collection of models that cover the state of Iowa. Another type of search you can use in the IoWaDSS is the Huck 8 watershed. You can choose to either search by the watershed name, which will have autocomplete, or you can also search by the hydrologic unit code, which also has autocomplete. If you are already familiar with the watershed you would like to select, you can simply hover over the area and then click. The platform will return the Huck 8 of interest in pink. It will also outline the drainage area in blue. The third type of search is using the Huck 12 watershed. Similar to the Huck 8 watershed, you can also search by the watershed name, which has autocomplete, or the hydrologic unit code, which also has autocomplete. You can also search by simply hovering over your area of interest and clicking into it. The pink will outline your selected point of interest, while the blue will outline the drainage area. As another way to search by your point of interest, you can search by county units. By hovering in, you can either search by the county name using the autocomplete, or you can hover over the county you'd like to select and then click into the county. The selected county will be outlined in pink, while the drainage area will be outlined in blue, showing the upstream and downstream area. A fifth option for searching by the point of interest would be using the city and townships unit. You can either decide to search by the city name, or you can also simply hover over the city or township you'd like to select and click in. Similar to the previous searches that were shown, the point of interest is highlighted in pink, while the upstream and downstream drainage area is outlined in blue. As a sixth way to search by your point of interest, you can choose the place of interest. Within the place of interest section, you can either search by the street, which has autocomplete, or you can also choose by map location, and then select a location on the map. The drainage area will be outlined in blue, and you'll see the location that you have selected on the map. The last method you can search by is specific projects. The specific project section connects watersheds with specialized resources, such as additional watershed data or modeling results. For example purposes, we will use Soap Creek. Then select Launch IoWaDSS. The sections above provide the data about the watershed, the current status of the watershed, planning, forecast, and frequently asked questions. Within the watershed section, you can see the inventory of resources such as the summary info, the current data and info, and the models for Soap Creek. Within the current status section, there's hydrology, geomorphology, water quality, meteorology, land, water, and habitat, and socioeconomic data provided. To demonstrate the visualization capabilities of IoWaDSS, we will use the current status hydrology section as an example. For example, if we turn on the stream stages, we can see there are 4 sensors within the Soap Creek. If we click on one of the sensors, we can see all of the information, such as the owner, the sensor, the site, the interval, the site ID, and the stage. There's also the time series button. If we click on the time series button, it will take us to the data itself. You can see the time series of the stage in feet, also the location of the site on the map, and the statistical info for the river stage. At the bottom, you can also adjust the time if you'd like to concentrate on a certain event. Another feature this offers is you can compare sensors across different variables. In this instance, we can compare 2 sensors across time and through their statistical info. Once all the preliminary categories are connected with data, you'll be able to use them for analysis. The other section we would like to show you is under the Planning tab in Scenario Analysis, using the Flood Mitigation Analysis. Within the Flood Mitigation Analysis panel, you can see there's information for the pond info, and there's information on visualization scenarios. The pond info uses ponds for retaining the floodwater in the headwater, and it is simulated with HEC-HMS. For a visualization scenario, you can choose the number of ponds you'd like to select. You can also choose the precipitation and the different parameters such as pond usage and pond retention. For an example of a visualization, let's choose the number of ponds before 1993. The precipitation event will be 25 years to 24 hours, and the parameter will be pond usage. The bar cylinders show how much of the pond has been filled. Also, while using the map throughout the whole platform, you can change the base map. Another result of the model can be shown if we activate the index points. With the index points, the peak reduction produced by the construction of ponds can be shown. With the HUC model, we can visualize, as we go downstream, the impact of having ponds versus the impact of not having the ponds. In the panel to the right, the blue line represents the impact of having ponds, while the green line represents the impact of not having the ponds. While performing this analysis, we can very easily change the number of ponds so we can see what the effect is of more ponds on the same type of storm. Then if I select downstream, we can see the expected peak reduction is larger. The results are shown both graphically and numerically. This type of information can be very useful for the user. It can help answer the question, how does this type of flood mitigation measure benefit us in coping with the flooding effect? This section concludes the demonstration of the IoWaDSS platform. At this time, we encourage you to use the platform to explore and identify other features for the watersheds that IoWaDSS provides. Lastly, we ask for your feedback within the survey as to how we can improve the IoWaDSS website, resources, and platform for your use and decision-making towards obtaining information about the condition and health of Iowa's watersheds. Thank you for your time, and we are looking forward to receiving your feedback.